Okay, Group A had the organization and leadership, and we kind of took, there's no one normal in my group. And so we kind of thought out of the box a little bit more. National University has as their theme, because every year they have a theme, their big theme now is pride. Pride in your position with the school, pride in your division, and so on. So instead of respect, because some people thought there may be some not so nice connotations with respect in terms of gangs and so on, we kind of went back and looked at making it pride instead of the respect one. And the pride would be, the P would be productive learners, the R would be responsible citizens, the I would be independent thinkers, D, decision makers, problem solvers, and E, effective communicators. And not just because the nationals deal with pride, but we also thought that that might be something we'd really need to start to instill in kids, that they have some pride in themselves. Some pride in the fact they came back to school, some pride in the fact that they're working and achieving, and their ultimate goal would be the pride of getting a high school diploma. So we thought maybe that whole pride thing might be a nice way to go. And because, never mind. Thought better of that comment before it came out. And that's as far as we got. We had a lot of input, went back and forth, so that's where we're stopping.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, B, which was curriculum, right?
Okay, so we did have some normal people in our group, but Bernie's abnormal group took our thunder, I think, with their pride thing, because we had SWAT. That wasn't going over very well.
I think that might fit too well.
But I'm at Seagate, so that's how I did. So anyway, we had self-confidence and self-esteem, critical thinking, bringing in like world ideas too, work ethic, being punctual, and technology, of course. But I think that pride, kind of touches on some of the things we were saying too. But more in line with the curriculum, we were thinking that we do have some needs in Compass that I think, everyone's probably got different ideas of what we need to do, but we feel like we need more options for the kids in addition to Compass, because if they just watch the videos, that's all they've got. If they need more beyond that, then we have to be pulling stuff out of books and getting stuff from all over the place, playing worksheets, and then again we're just scrambling and nothing is aligned with anyone all over again. So we need some kind of support that's all across the board the same. And maybe companion worksheets, maybe a wiki page that allows the kids to go in and access information on whatever the subject is. Maybe they can send a question to whoever, like say math. Maybe they send a question to Mr. London and say, I'm having trouble with completing the square, and Mr. London gets back to them really quickly with the answer. But that's in a perfect world, so we'll see. And then just changing instructional practices in general, which I think we're all involved in kind of working on how to make Compass a better place, a happier place, a more successful place. And then also just looking at more electives for the kids, and electives that are, I think, more standards-based, because we're still kind of relying on the electives from before, and I think they're a little hollow. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Thank you. Instruction.
So I don't know how I'd characterize my group, but it's a good group of people. So we came up with Achieve. I like Pride. I don't know about SWAT. Sounds like we're descending upon and running around people's parties and being fun wreckers. I don't know if I like that idea. But so for Achieve, we have academic success, or critical thinker, honest students, independent thinkers, effective communicators, vested learners, and engaged in technology. So something we're working on. We wanted to have, we included honest in there because we like what Faraday had said, and Liz and I were talking about how we wanted something that had to do with that, the mention earlier of the compassionate and empathetic adult. And while that's very hard to measure, we wanted to kind of look at behavior and see how kids interact and show that respect, while also recognizing that they had to treat people with a certain amount of empathy. So we tried to work that in there with behavior in terms of honesty. The strengths of our curriculum. We felt that it's nice that Compass is in one place, it's comprehensive, and the information is unified. We like the fact that you know, if it's easy to access as long as your students can get to those computers. The weaknesses were that exactly what Cleta had mentioned. When you have to modify, when you need alternatives for your kids that don't have access to a computer, or if you have those students who have tried Compass and they're struggling, we don't have an automatic go-to system, and we need to develop something. So in talking to Heather, we wanted to have that available and also user-friendly, because the access is so important. Trying to find backup textbooks online or print off things might satisfy, you know, one student that came in that has that backup. But as we grow, we're going to need something that is always there, that isn't going to take up so much time. And I'm fine with deferring all of my math questions that come up to Joel, but I don't know if Joel's okay with that. Are you? No? Okay. So that was what we discussed.
Okay, so for assessment and accountability, we felt like we didn't come up with a snazzy acronym, but we did want to include some things. We wanted to include
Snazzy, that's where
snazzy. So 70s, right? So we did want to include some things, like with the effective communicator. Carlos brought this up. We should also include like the whole idea of the workplace environment and the effective. When you communicate, it's not just with your words or with your writing; it's with your body language and your appearance. So it's being an effective communicator for the time and place and the situation that you're at. So if it's a school or a workplace environment, that's you're communicating with all of your being, not just with your words and your speech. So we had that. We liked the idea of including some type of ethical or integrity statement. So maybe compassionate, ethical adults. We wanted to also include with maybe the responsible citizen, the self-sufficient. We want the students to lead our program really being able to provide for themselves, to be a productive member of society, that they can take care of themselves, they can support themselves, and maybe support a family. I think that was it. Were there any other ideas to add that we talked about for the ESLers? We talked about ethical, being self-sufficient, being effective communicators in their body, their appearance, and workplace preparation. And then as far as data and assessment and accountability goes, we felt like the area of strength is the RTI assignments, and the fact that we can really take a specific, fairly, fine-tooth comb as far as what students need and give them specific assignments based on their specific needs in Compass. Areas of growth would be then looking at analyzing the data and then adjusting our curriculum and instruction based on that. And that kind of dovetails into having other options and some things that we can give to students, once we evaluate where they're at and what their needs are, that they might need something different, so we have something to give them. So the area of growth would be just analyzing and adjusting our curriculum based on the information we get about our students.
Did the same thing, a little different words. We had problem solvers, responsible citizens, independent learners. We were working on dependable or developing, and we were trying to finish that, an effective communicator. So So I think pride might be something we can work off of. Some of the other things we came up with, critical thinking is critical. We want our students to be self-directed. We want them to exceed expectations. We want them to be confident, persistent, and persevering. We want them to be evolving, constantly growing, changing. We want them to be trusting and trustworthy, ethical. Integrity is a word that came up that is, could fit in a lot of places. Another thing that came up was we might try to find a quote that goes along kind of with our experts, that students we might be able to reinforce the experts with a quote, famous quote from someplace. As far as that was it for the efforts. From the academic needs standpoint, while NWA and the RTI stuff is great, a lot of times you're not getting more credit for that, and while they're remediating, a lot of times they aren't able to really access some of the core curriculum, and so some more level curriculum would be helpful. ELD is a big area of need. Some options for the fourth year of English, which I know we're working on a technical writing. The other thing is more options for electives, art, music, and one of the problems again with NWA, while the remediation is great, you need something on the work for electives, so the kids are not allowed or don't have room for things that might be of more individual or personal interest. The last thing that came up, and it's an academic need, but it's not from a curriculum standpoint, time for more one-on-one. Increasing the numbers of students decreases the amount of time for one-on-one. One of the suggestions came up was that we look to hire college students on a part-time basis, hourly basis. Also look at college work-study programs, see if we can't bring in people for little or no cost that would provide more individual attention to our students as enable us to provide more one-on-one time and attention.